7 steps. That's all it took. Boaz didn't swipe right. He didn't send late-night texts. He followed a blueprint that's been working for 3,000 years, and it led to this, the bloodline of Jesus Christ. But here's what most Christian men don't realize. Everything Boaz did can be broken down into 7 specific steps. Steps you can follow today, not tricks. Not manipulation. A blueprint for pursuing a woman with honor. Most Christian men have no idea how to pursue a woman. They come on too strong. Or they never make a move at all. Awkward, desperate, passive, creepy. They orbit for months hoping she figure it out. Today I'm giving you all 7 steps. Not from dating books, from scripture. From the story of Ruth and Boaz. By the end, you'll know exactly what to do, step by step. Let's start where Boaz started. Boaz sees Ruth for the first time and asks his foreman, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The foreman's answer is interesting. He doesn't describe her appearance. He describes her behavior. She came and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in the shelter. Her work ethic, her persistence, her dedication, that's what was reported. That's what Boaz noticed first. But here's where most men go wrong. They notice a woman and can tell you everything about how she looks. Nothing about who she is. Before you pursue any woman, ask yourself, what have I noticed about her character? Not her body, not her Instagram, her integrity, her faith. How she treats people when nothing's on the line. If you can't name specific character qualities that attract you, you're not ready to pursue. You're reacting to attraction, not responding to substance. Here's the practical step. Watch before you approach, not in a creepy way. In an observant way. How does she treat people? How does she respond when things go wrong? What does she do when she thinks nobody important is watching? Proverbs 31 says it clearly, charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Notice what's praiseworthy. That's what lasts. But noticing isn't enough. At some point you have to do something about it. And that's where step 2 separates the men from the boys. Boaz didn't play games. He didn't pretend to be just friends, while secretly hoping for more. He made his interest known immediately. Ruth 2:8-9. Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field and don't go away from here. Stay here with my women." Read between the lines. He's saying, stay here. I want you near. He created an opportunity for ongoing interaction. He made his interest unmistakable without being inappropriate. But here's where Christian men fail. They orbit. They hint. They become friends and wait for months, hoping she somehow figure out they want more. That's not noble. That's cowardly. And it's confusing for her. Here's the practical step. Within a reasonable time frame, make your intentions known. Not, I want to marry you, but I'd like to get to know you better. Would you be open to spending some time together? Clear, direct, respectful, no ambiguity. She deserves clarity, and honestly, so do you. But what Boaz did next is what separates good men from great ones. He didn't just pursue with words. He demonstrated something that most men never think about. Right after welcoming Ruth, Boaz gave orders to his workers. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. Think about that. Ruth was a foreigner, vulnerable, alone in fields full of men. She hadn't asked for protection. She didn't even know she needed it. But Boaz saw potential dangers she couldn't see, and he neutralized them before anything happened. This is what leadership looks like in pursuit. You're not waiting to react. You're anticipating, preparing, thinking ahead about her well-being. Here's the practical step. Be situationally aware. When you're with her, think about her comfort, her safety, her reputation. Walk on the street side of the sidewalk. Be aware of your surroundings. Think about how your actions might affect how others see her. Ephesians 5:25 tells husbands to love wives as Christ loved the church. Christ gave himself up for her. That protection doesn't start at the wedding altar. It starts in pursuit. A woman who feels safe with you before marriage will trust you to lead after marriage. Protection is proof of character. But here's where it gets interesting. Boaz didn't stop at protection. What he did next reveals something about generosity that most men completely misunderstand. Boaz told his workers something remarkable. Let her gather among the sheaves and don't rebuke her. Even pull out some stalks for her from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up. He provided for her abundantly. But notice what he didn't do. He didn't demand anything in return. No obligation. No, you owe me, just generosity. This is where many men fail spectacularly. They give, but they keep score. They provide, but they expect reciprocation. Their generosity has strings. I paid for dinner, so I bought you this, so I've invested so much time, so that's not provision, that's transaction. And godly women can feel the difference. Every single time. Here's the practical step. Be generous without expectation. Pay for meals. Give thoughtful gifts. Invest your time. But never hold it over her head. Never make her feel obligated by your generosity. Matthew 10:8 says it simply. Freely you have received. Freely give. Your provision should reflect God's provision to you. Abundant, generous, no strings attached. But here's what shocked me when I studied this story. Boaz didn't just give privately. What he did publicly is something most men are terrified to do. Boaz spoke highly of Ruth in front of others. Ruth 2:11. I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. He praised her character, publicly, where everyone could hear. He established her value in the community by his words. He didn't just think highly of her. He said it out loud, where it mattered. But here's the mistake many men make. They compliment a woman privately but stay silent publicly. They're affectionate when alone but distant in groups. They're embarrassed to show they care. That's not honor. That's hiding. And women notice. Here's the practical step. Speak well of her when she's present and when she's not. Introduce her with pride. Praise her qualities to others. Let your community know you value her. Proverbs 31 minutes and 28 seconds to 29. Her husband praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Public praise. That's what a husband does. Start practicing now. A woman who feels honored by you during pursuit will trust your leadership in marriage. Boaz could have pursued Ruth secretly, worked around the system. But he didn't. Here's the practical step. When obstacles arise, handle them with integrity. Maybe it's a previous relationship she needs to resolve. Maybe it's family concerns. Maybe it's distance or timing. Address them openly. Don't manipulate around them. If her father has concerns, address them honestly. If she has hesitations, hear them fully. If there are legitimate barriers, work through them transparently. How you handle obstacles reveals your character. A man who shortcuts the process will shortcut the marriage. Integrity in pursuit predicts integrity in covenant. And that brings us to the final step. The one that most Christian men struggle with the most. The step that separates pursuit from commitment. No hesitation. No prolonged, defining the relationship conversations. When the path was clear, he committed. Fully, finally. Pursuit has a destination. It's not meant to go on indefinitely. At some point, you've gathered enough information, built enough foundation, cleared enough obstacles. It's time to decide. But here's where many Christian men fail. They pursue and pursue but never propose. They date for years without moving toward commitment. They're comfortable in pursuit because commitment requires courage. That's not honoring her. That's wasting her time. And deep down, you know it? Here's the practical step. Have a timeline. Not arbitrary, but intentional. Know what information you need to make a decision. Gather it. Then decide. Either she's the one and you move toward marriage, or she's not and you release her to find someone who will commit. James 1-8 warns against being double-minded and unstable in all ways. Endless pursuit without commitment is double-mindedness. Make a decision. Commit fully, or let her go. Because a godly woman deserves a man who knows what he wants and has the courage to pursue it to completion. 7 steps. Notice her character before her appearance. Make your intentions clear early. Protect her before she asks. Provide without strings attached. Honor her publicly. Navigate obstacles with integrity. Commit fully and finally. This is the blueprint, tested for 3,000 years. From the fields of Bethlehem to the lineage of Christ. Boaz wasn't smooth. He wasn't using techniques or playing games. He was a man of character, pursuing a woman of character with intention, honor, and integrity. You can do the same. Not with tricks. With character, not with manipulation. With clarity, not with games. With commitment. The question isn't whether you know what to do. Now you do. The question is whether you'll do it.